This is every late night, every setback, every climb, every tear that built me, every scar that taught me. I learned you can't rush the vision. You gotta trust the process. The journey begins. I'm stronger within. Through the fire and rain.
Don't Give Up by Dexter Price.
Yeah, I'm here today to hopefully inspire you all for greatness, and there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. I see one of my great students, Jonitha, is that you over there I see? One of my great students. I'm just glad to be here, and I want to start by saying I was just like you guys. Give you a little bit of my background. I grew up in Washington, the toughest projects in the United States. And through that experience, I learned to persevere. So I grew up like you guys. Some of you may be Guilton Court or Creighton Court and any like that. I grew up like that also, playing on the playground, playing sports, football and basketball. And it was a lot of temptation growing up there. So as I grew up on in Benny Terrace in elementary school, I found myself in elementary school. The one thing that I wanted to be different. Where I grew up at, a lot of the guys was drinking and doing things and doing different criminal things, and I've seen a lot of guys I grew up with go to jail, and I just didn't want that. I didn't want that, and I think I got that from my mom. She grew up in South Carolina, and she was the first one out of 10 in her family to graduate from high school, and I just wanted to be different. You know, I just didn't. So I grew up around a lot of challenges. So when I went to school in elementary, one of the teachers that made an impact on my life was Miss McCoy, and she really let you know you're gonna learn. And she was a great teacher. She taught you well, and I struggled. I wasn't growing up in elementary school. I wasn't a great reader. I was good in math, and I played sports. My mom, it was 5 of us and boys in 2 bedrooms, 5 brothers. And my mom, she worked in the evenings, so when we came home, she had our meal ready for us, and we all had chores, duties to do. Wash the dishes, sweep the floor, take out the trash. We all had duties. So growing up was pretty tough. My mother, she just cleaned buildings at the Pentagon in D.C. She got that job, and she did that. And so I really appreciated her taking care of 5 boys by herself. And what amazed me about it, she always gave us an allowance at the end of the week for what we did, and I was just amazed by that. So growing up, I seen a lot of guys, a lot of people get in trouble, drop out of school. So I excelled myself in sports. My mom, to keep us out of trouble, she put all of us in sports. We was with the Boys and Girls Club. The police officers was our coach and our counselor, and they got to know us. And so that kept us out of trouble. So then, growing up, my mother wasn't really affectionate because she worked a lot, and she was like, "Hey, you're supposed to get done what you're supposed to do." So what happened was, I just put myself into sports. I said, I'm gonna just do sports because I didn't want to do the other things that was going on in my community. So I just indulged in sports, and I found out in sports, you get to know people. In sports, you get friends, you get along with other people, you get to know people. I was in DC, and you can go to a certain neighborhood, and then somebody be trying to jump you. But I noticed, playing sports, people get to know you, and they wouldn't bother you because they know you. I just happened to play against a lot of different sports guys from different part of town, so I got to know a lot of people. So they helped me out a lot. And so from there, every chance I got, I went to the playground and I would practice shooting basketball, and I got pretty good at it. And then football also. But one thing I realized though, I did realize that if I could took that same time and put it in reading, or put that same time in math, or social study or science, I realized that I could be more balanced. I realized that in the elementary school. So I started doing that. But one thing that happened with me was in elementary school, like some of you, I didn't have nobody to tutor me. I had 4 other brothers, but I was the one that was into the books, and I really didn't have no help. So I just continued to go to school, do the best I can in elementary school, and I always wanted to be the best. I remember in elementary school running track. It was a competition, the fastest one. I always say when I get into 6th grade, I wanted to be the fastest one, but I ended up transferring to another school. And then when I went to middle school, I went to Keller Middle School. It was a pretty tough school, and again, by playing sports, that helped. And the one thing that changed was I had good teachers that encouraged me to be better in school and learning. So I had offers to go to private school when I was in middle school because of sports, and then I excelled in math. And from there, from middle school, I was recruited. These challenges of drugs and alcohol and crime, it was tough. At one particular time in my project, like anybody else, I wanted nice clothes and money and things like that. So I went downstairs one time in middle school. He was one of the top guys in the neighborhood that did illegal activities. And so I wanted things, so he changed my life. I went to him one that evening, and they was going out to do a job. And I told him, he said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going with you guys. I can be lookout." He said, "You're not going with us." He said, "Because you got a chance." And those guys, they ended up getting like 30, 40 years in jail. I would have probably got 20 years in jail. I was like 14 years old. And so he saved my life. He told me I couldn't come because I had a chance to make it out. So right after that, I went to DeMatha High School, which is one of the best high schools, basketball in the country. I got recruited there, and it changed my life because I met a guy named Coach Perry Clark, and he taught me things that I didn't know as far as basketball, how to be a better basketball player, how to be a better person. And so it was always somebody helping me, but I had challenge because I came out of public schools and I wasn't academically prepared for that high standard in private school. So it was a challenge for me the whole time. I ended up playing football, being a star running back and all that stuff. But to tell you the perseverance though, I always had a dream. See, this is Dr. Martin Luther King. This is amazing because this is my guy. Growing up, I always had a dream like him, and I felt connected with him. He's had that dream that one day, Dr. King had a dream that one day we gonna all reach that dream that he had, and I just love Dr. King for that. And this is the middle school named after him, so I just love that. So I always had a dream to go to college, and so I played ball. So what I'm saying is you got to persevere. It might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, it might not happen next month, but if you keep working at it, you'll get better. That's in reading or math or sports or being an artist or business or whatever. If you set a goal, set one goal that you want to improve in your reading, set one goal you want to improve in your math, and get somebody to tutor you, you're on your way. You can always get a fresh start. You can always get a fresh start. So after high school, I didn't go to college. I wasn't prepared. I didn't put in the work in school like I did on the court. So it didn't balance out. I wasn't prepared. I had the office. I wasn't prepared. And I knew it. I wasn't going to waste it. So me and a buddy went in the Marines, and I went in the Marines 7 years. The point I want to make to you is this. I still had a goal to go to college. I still had a goal to play basketball. I wanted to be a pro basketball player. I wanted to buy my mother a house. At 16 years old, I helped my mother buy a house. How did I do it? She taught me always to work hard. I was saving money to buy a car, so I ended up helping her buy a house. And she has the house today, so I'm proud of that. And because I always wanted to make the NBA, and I'm going to buy my mother a house. So I was able to help her buy a house at 16. And so perseverance, 7 years in the service, just to kind of wrap it up, 7 years in the service, me playing ball, all that, playing that basketball. And then when I was in the service, I would always take classes at night to work on my skills. So I got a full scholarship when I was in the service. I was 26 years old. I played against a guy in the NBA named Spud Webb, and I got a full scholarship. And I was able to go to college. Nobody in my family never went to college. People that I grew up with, they went to college, but they dropped out. So I went to college, and I'm not going to tell you everything. It's a lot in between, but I graduated. I graduated from college. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. And through that, I inspired my son. He later on went to college. He went to Florida A&M. He didn't do well in school. He dropped out. I told him go back, take one more class. He did that. He took one class, and I say concentrate and study. He said he got an A. And then I told him do it again. He did it again. I said hang around those that study and study. He did that again. So he ended up he graduated from community college. He graduated from University of Maryland. He graduated from Georgetown. He ended up being in real estate, doing well, but he didn't give up. He had quit one time because he said everybody don't need to go to college. And my daughter, just tell you a little bit, she was like, you always talk about your son, but you never talk about your daughter. I said, well, give me something to talk about, and I'll talk about you. So the same age, I was 26, my son went back and got his degree. My daughter was 26, she went back and got her degree. She went to community college. She graduated from Maryland. Then she got a master's from American. What I'm saying is, it changed the trajectory of my family. Nobody in my family ever graduated from college. I came out of the hood in the project. You know, I struggled through school, going through school, but I was real high in athletics. And then I had to balance it. And when I was able to balance it, I kept going. I kept in my mind, I still wanted to do good. I wanted to be successful. And so I was able to do that. Just even though I was in the Marines 7 years, I went through a lot in there. But I kept my mind on and going to school. And in the Marines, I met Joseph Osborne, who's Dr. Martin Luther King's cousin. He was speaking that day on the base. I was the one that introduced him. And afterwards, he talked to me. He changed my life. He told me that I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And after that, I said, I'm going to get out. And the guys that I grew up, the guys I was in the Marine Corps said, you're not going to make it. They said, after 1 year, you're going to quit. You're going to drop out. So after 1 year, I wanted to quit. I wanted to drop out. But I said, I'm going to make it 2 years, then I'm going to drop out. I'm not going to drop out in 1 year, because they were saying 1 year, you're going to quit. So after the second year, I said I quit. But my coach, he said, I'm not going to let you quit. I didn't see that coming. He said, I'm not going to he would not let me quit. And that's how I made it. And that same coach, at the time, a lot of the student athletes, the sheriff here in Richmond, do y'all know her? Antoinette Irvin, y'all ever heard of her? Okay, she was sheriff. I went to school with her. I went to school. She come out of Creighton Court. I come out of court in D.C. We both come out of the courts. Both playing basketball, both successful. But that coach, what he did to change the trajectory in my life and all the other athletes, nobody was really graduating, maybe 1 or 2 athletes. He went and hired retired tutors from Hampton University, North Carolina A&T to tutor us. The best thing you can do is get a tutor. That's the best thing you can do, get a tutor. And the best person that inspired me when I was in college, he was from here. His name is Arthur Ashe. I met him my senior year. He said, Dex, you're not going pro. He said, take all the English classes they offer, they free. You a blue chipper, you on scholarship. So from that, the great Arthur Ashe, I started taking a lot of English. So guy that struggled and couldn't read that good, a guy that was looking at 40 years in jail because one guy just said, I'm not going to let you come. That's the only reason I didn't go to jail, because I was good ready to go with them. And then from a guy that was in the military, they said, you ain't going to make it. I kept going. I didn't give up. And I said, I have to graduate. Because people behind me that grew up in Bennett Church in D.C., they look at me and they're going to say, if this guy made it, I know where he came from, I can make it. So all I'm saying is, if I made it, you can be anything you want. You got to set a goal. You got to set something in your mind. You want to have a business or you want to be successful at something. You got to set it in your mind and work towards it. And ask somebody to help you, and somebody, they will help you. My mother, she was the biggest one with the traits to teaching me, keep working, don't ever give up, keep working. And so through that, I was finished school. I taught school over 30 years. I coached in high school, middle school. I coached 3 years, just finished coaching at Virginia Union. There's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. So I just want you to know, you go to a great school, the great Dr. Martin Luther King, yes, he said, I have a dream. You got to have your own dream. And then work towards it. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't you know you can do it? I just didn't want to do the wrong thing. And tell you, growing up, some of my friends, they wanted to get high and drink. And I did it certain times. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. But I noticed, I look back at my friends that was drinking and using drugs. After high school, they had a drug problem and an alcohol problem. I noticed that. They always telling me, come on, man, let's go get a drink. And I didn't want to go get no drink. And they'd be like, come on. So I would go sometimes. So I'm just saying, don't do it if you don't really want to. And the thing that changed my life, I had to get a physical every year to play sports. And my doctor, he said, do you smoke or drink? I said, no. He said, good, because if you do, you wouldn't live long. He scared me when he did that. So I never smoked and drink after that. You have a question? What happened was, I grew up in the hood. And in the hood on Fridays, we would go and we would get some older person to buy something and to drink and get high, right? I didn't want to do that. But I do with my boys. You know, peer pressure. I didn't want to do it. They said, come on, Dexter, a little bit. I said, no, man, because I'm an athlete. I don't want to put it in my body. They were like, man, come on. And I do a little bit. Then, after a while, I got stronger. I say, I'm not doing it no more because I don't want to do it. Plus, I seen my uncles, people in my neighborhood, it messed them up. I seen it mess them up. And through that, I detest that. I didn't like drugs and alcohol because it destroyed like my uncles and some of my relatives. So, and then I didn't tell y'all, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was a substance abuse counselor. I was a counselor in the Marine Corps. When young men and women got in trouble, I was the one that had to come see the counselor. Me, out of the projects in the hood. I became a counselor on the whole base. And I didn't tell y'all, when I was in the military, I was all service. I was all Marine. I was like NBA all pro. They paid me to just play ball when I was in the service. That's how good I was. I learned to playing on the playground, sharpening my craft. Nobody in the projects, it'd be quiet on Saturday, just boom, boom, boom. That was Dexter Price. He was shooting basketball. They say, that dude, man, well, I believe, I worked on my craft. Well, I'm saying, you can add in there math and science and be just as good too. But I worked on my craft. And I never, ever, Mr. Tweedy, he'd know, and I love this guy and his parents. I never gave up. I never gave up. I've been knowing this guy since he's been like 15. I used to watch him play in the Y. I used to referee his games. He probably got mad at me. I didn't make the right calls and stuff. But I watched him. He used to play ball, and his parents, he got awesome parents. And his parents, and I don't know if you know, his brother was with the Giants for a little while, football player, and his brother played for Virginia Tech. So I admire him. He always like a son to me. And I just, when he finished at Virginia State, I said, whatever I can do to help you, I'll help you. He's good people. Y'all have great teachers. Learn what you can with your teachers. Get them to help you. And you can be better. You can do anything you want to do. Like Joseph Ross once told me years ago, if you put your mind to it. It's something you want to do. Don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. Keep working at it. It took me 7 years out of the Marine Corps to get to college. And I finally went and I graduated. And I played ball 4 years. I was athlete of the year, student of the year, role model of the year. I visited the prisons when I was in there. Did all that stuff because I always wanted to help people. That's what I always did. So thank you guys. I think I said enough. And I hope y'all have a good day, and not only a good day, a good week and a month and a year. And I hope somebody sees this planet that you decide you can get a fresh start. You can change your life. And you can accomplish anything you want if you put your mind to it. Thank you guys, and I appreciate everybody. I also wrote a book, and my book tells a whole lot about what me and my wife and family went through. So, it's a good book to read about the family, graduate from college. You can do it. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. My son ended up getting a master's, my daughter a master's, my grandson now, he's ready to graduate in December. But it started with who? Me. If I would have took that drink, like she was saying, and started getting high, man, I would be going to rehab. If I would have went and did that job when they was doing them jobs, I'd have been serving 20 to 40 years in jail. I would have did it. But I'm just thankful that it didn't happen. And I didn't go that way. I'm just thankful. And people always help me. And one thing I say, sports helped me a whole lot. Because I met a lot of famous people playing sports and coaching. And I made a lot of good friends. So you want to, not just play sports, but whatever you do, acting or modeling, you can be successful. But always make friends because it'll take you the rest of your life. So this is my book. Coach Tweedy going to have the information to get it. It's a good read, but most of all, remember my story is don't ever give up. Thank you guys.